this specific model, I'll pass you that, and then I'll have that one back minus the cable.
This is wow nice.
Yes.
This is a custom Tele.
It is.
Because the binding, you can tell with that binding, and it's got a lovely sunburst colour, which I think at one point they didn't actually sell that many in the first place with a sunburst.
No, not that. But the thing with Jap Teles like this one is you don't really see them in, or you see when they do the double bound stuff that Fender do, you don't see it all that often. It's something that's kind of been owned by Japanese stuff. You see a lot more of the Japanese double bound than any of the American stuff. And the stuff they do put in double bound bodies is usually like Elites and Deluxes where they've contoured heels and they've put cutaways in and they've put noiseless pickups in and things like that. If you want a double bound Tele, from my understanding, you've got to get really high up in custom shop territory and things like that, which is, not everyone's got the money for that. They need to pay. They need to buy cars and fridges and tumble dryers rather than spending 3,000 quid on a lump of wood.
So this one, quite loud anyway. To me,
resonantly is.
Resonant.
One thing with a lot of Japanese Fenders is the output of the pickups is usually quite a bit less.
Fretboard as well. It's got all those slabby 60s fretboards.
I think it's got tall, narrow frets as well. So, like the Mexican player that you've just played, it's got quite fat frets, whereas they're more of a skinnier fret, but still of quite a high fret as well.
Yeah, it's got the truss rod adjustment at the bottom of the neck, which is period, accurate. It's got the tuners as well. String tree.
It's a TL-62, so that is Japanese representation of a 62 Telecaster.
It's quite close to, in my mind.
Yeah.
It's got a strange thing on this one where the neck fretboard and the neck is slightly different.
That's an age thing.
Yeah,
it's where rosewood and maple, rosewood and maple expand and contract at different levels.
Wow. Okay.
And obviously the rosewood over the last, I think that's, what's the first two numbers of that? A01.
A01. So yeah.
So that is a 23-year-old guitar.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've felt that before on vintage
when you feel
Fenders.
Gibsons, which have obviously got binding up the side of the fretboard, you can feel on a lot of them a ridge, which is where the mahogany neck is moved compared to the rosewood, and obviously you've got plastic binding at the side of it, and you can feel this lip. Some people, it puts them right off like that. They'll go, I don't want it. It's got obviously.
It's more like a vintage guitar
but that's what happens.
Yeah,
that is what happens to
Absolutely.
them. You have to accept if you're going to buy a 20 or 30-year-old guitar, that there might be something like that that's on it. But that becomes part of its history. That becomes part of the guitar.
Yeah, definitely. It's already got.
Vibe.
To me, it feels like it's got the vibe because of that, and because of. So for me, I tend to like those sorts of imperfections. I find quite characterful in guitars.
Character, yeah, exactly.
But this, it's not only that gives it the vibe. It's got some really nice stuff. Like it's got the. Is that where the serial number is in the scratch plate? It's got an ashtray.
Yeah. So the original, like on the custom shop one, which is behind us, that's as it should be. That's a 51 Heavy Relic custom shop, and we'll talk about that one in a bit. But that's got the serial number as with the original Fenders that's stamped into that ashtray bridge,
and
that's got that on it. Some of the crafted in Japan, which is what that do have it on the back of the neck.
Yes, I've had one like that before.
I think your one there, your Paisley one of this top right, will be on the back of the neck as well.
Yes,
but obviously that on the bridge is more accurate to an original Fender.
It sounds great.
thing that's cool with that as well is the actual piece of rosewood they've used for the fretboard is just handsome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of, obviously now you walk in a shop and if you want rosewood on a Fender, you've got to get right up in regards to the range. They won't put rosewood on anything Mexican. I don't even think the Japanese ones now have got rosewood on them. It's all pau ferro. I don't think it's Indian laurel, it's pau ferro. Yeah. So if you want that on a current guitar, it's got to be American. Then you're spending 2,000 plus.
Yeah, it's probably one of the only ways to get it now.
Yeah, proper piece of rosewood.
Period correct wood.
Yeah.
And the neck profile is very, very much classic.
Yeah, it is.
You know, handful, but actually quite. I find them. I love a 62 kind of style neck because it takes up your hand, but you've got this place here where you can kind of control with it. You've just got a little bit of work there, and especially if you're doing a 2-hour gig, you know, you kind of like. You can, but as you get older, people, it's more of an as you get older thing. It's probably because I'm getting older, but I like to relax and use my thumb a bit to start doing.
Yeah, you go.